Hi everyone, I'm sorry I couldn't be here with you today. I am actually in a doctor's appointment right now, but Shauna and I are going to go ahead and present chapters 5 through 9 of our text, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and you should have your handout now. I'm going to be discussing the themes of secrecy and deception. If you'll notice in your handout, I'm focusing on the character of Dorian Gray, and at the end we're going to discuss some of the other characters, and then Shauna will present her portion of our chapter study. Okay, so let's think about what's happening in chapters 5 through 9, and we've already encountered almost all of the characters that you'll find in the book. And if you'll notice in our handout, chapter 5, page 54, and I have the Oxford Press version. You may have a different version, but if you'll turn to page 54 or somewhere near that page, you'll find this comment. "My child, you are far too young to think of falling in love. Besides, what do you know of this man? You don't even know his name." So there we see a warning, a foreshadowing that something is going to occur later in the text. Also on chapter 5, page 56, just a few pages over, you'll see where Jim is cautioning his mother, Mrs. Vane, about Prince Charming, and she says, he says to her, "You don't know his name, though," said the lad harshly. And his mother answers, "No," with a placid expression in her face. "He has not yet revealed his name. I think it's quite romantic of him. He's probably a member of the aristocracy." So even the mother is ignoring the fact that her daughter is engaged to someone whose name she doesn't even know, for the fact that it might be some fantasy of a member of the aristocracy. They know that he's wealthy. And also then on chapter 5, page 59, Jim confronts Sybil, and he says, "You have a new friend, I hear. Who is he? Why have you not told me about him? He means you no good." "Why, you don't even know his name," answered the lad. "Who is he? I have a right to know." And then Sybil says, "He is called Prince Charming. Don't you like the name?" So here we see in chapter 5 three different instances where our author, Oscar Wilde, uses repetition as a warning. You don't know his name. You don't know his name. You don't know his name. So we follow up this reading with chapter 7. You'll want to page over to somewhere around page 74. And it's the green room scene following the fiasco of a play. And the quote is, "As soon as it was over, Dorian Gray rushed behind the scenes into the green room. The girl was standing there alone with a look of triumph on her face. Her eyes were lit with an exquisite fire. There was a radiance about her. Her parted lips were smiling over some secret of their own. When he entered, she looked at him. An expression of infinite joy came over her. 'How badly I acted tonight, Dorian!' she exclaimed." So this is the first time that we find in the text that the name Dorian is spoken by Sybil. So she knew his name all along. And then the last quote that I have here is, "The girl smiled. 'Dorian,' she answered, lingering over his name with long-drawn music in her voice, as though it were sweeter than honey to the red petals of her mouth." So in what we've looked at so far, we know that there was secret goings-on with the character of Dorian Gray. We also know that Sybil was being secretive because through the text she's told everyone that loves her and surrounds her, that's warning her, that his name is Prince Charming. And this goes along with our theme of art in that it allows us to see them as acting out a play in their own life, the romantic idea of their own life. But in fact, we find out that Sybil did know his name. And so my questions to you to consider are, why do you think Wilde revealed that Sybil knew Dorian's name at this point in the novel? Think about other characters in the novel. Think about Basil Howard, Dorian, Mrs. Vane, Lord Henry. At this point in the novel, through chapter 9, what secrets do we find each of these characters hiding? So I'll leave you with that, and Shauna will take it from here, and I'd love to hear your